We'll see if he gets the breakout started. He does. Oh, Bazarzan gets
Oh
it.
my! Big hit by Long. Good job by Owen finding that slot, and he's gonna be rewarded with another chance off the stick. How did Katie save that? Here we go. Looking to wheel and deal. He beats Dangles. Coming up through the logo. Around 2, around 3, around 4. In on net. Score!
Maybe he should have just kept taking it, but maybe I'll be proven wrong here. It's a great pass from Squiggles over to Style. It's just getting batted a million times in the net. How did that not go in?
Really boxing off the offensive zone for the Smudge. Now it's a breakaway pass. Buzz, flip it. Look out, he's got an open net. Oh, no!
Hello, everyone. My name is Alicat, and welcome to the PHL. I'm joined by Katie here for the Waco Weatherman versus Minnesota Riptide. How you doing today, Katie?
I'm doing amazing. How about yourself?
I'm definitely doing all right. We got a really exciting matchup here, especially because we've seen Minnesota be fighting for their playoff spot with because as we know, the last two teams in D2 will be eliminated and will not advance to the D2 playoffs, and Minnesota, unfortunately, 2 points out of the spot. Them and I believe the Sierra Nevada Grizzlies are also fighting for their playoff spot. So 2 exciting storylines to follow today.
Yeah, coming down to the wire, and this is the most exciting part of the season, in my opinion. Is well, apart from playoff, favorite part of the regular season is seeing how these teams fare when it's really on the line. So excited to get into this matchup we have tonight.
And the other storyline to follow, I'd point out to people is, despite the fact that I want to say the Rocky Mountain Reapers have clinched a playoff spot, they are also 1 point away from clinching the entire league. So with even an overtime loss today, RMR puts themselves at the top and defines themselves as the team to beat.
They've been one hell of a season, those guys. And
it's definitely a dominant season. That's kind of the overall narrative of them. Is it's moving constantly throughout D2, and we've seen teams kind of move up and down as the season has gone along, but RMR have consistently been at the top, and I wonder if maybe we see something different in playoffs, because as we know, playoffs is an entirely different battle. It's much more
so different.
It's very much, I've always found in my experience in playoffs, and I imagine yours too, Katie, that there's this level of intensity and for lack of a better phrase, locking in, where it's very much less mistakes, more focused, and very conservative in terms of how you play.
Yeah, I mean the comms and just the energy in playoff games. Admittedly, I didn't see the ice in the D1 playoffs for my team, but I've been in situations where like it does just feel a lot different when it's all on the line. And I'm so thrilled. You guys can catch me tomorrow for casting the D1 playoffs. Obviously, the orbit, far out of orbit of the D1 playoff scene, but still some exciting.
I do apologize for my mistake there.
All right, and now as we get into the game, we have the Weathermen taking it in their own zone. Topher, the not the D2 commissioner, but the PHL commissioner, picking it up, and Silk, who has been a standout this season, picking up the puck now in his own end. Not in his own end, the other end. As Like tries to clean it up, keeping this play going. Silk behind the net. Looks for a pass, but Traveler does a great job of closing that one out. The Weathermen off to a pretty aggressive start here.
Definitely a good way to set the tone, make sure your goalie loses confidence as you move along.
Yeah. And,
Speaking both as goalies who have played in this league.
Oh, big time. Shrew's looking for opportunity here, doing his classic move, scooping it up. Tarasenko gets a shot off of it, but that's going to go low into the pad. Like in his own end, picks it up and tries to get something going.
Dangerous play, but Damocles doesn't move, and that's just frankly the best option there.
Yeah, it's hard to read when the puck goes into the air, but usually the best option is just kind of keeping your spot and only moving once you realize you kind of have to. I'm like, finds an open pass there, gets it to Silk out in front. Silk, an off-speed shot, gets behind Mal's pads, but
Oh my
somehow
goodness.
doesn't go in.
Getting a puck behind those pads in that position is one of the scariest feelings you can have as a goaltender.
Yeah. Oh,
A
and an
great
open
defense to move
chance.
it.
The defender's not there. Silk passes it across, but just too far behind the net. Oh, and that was another dangerous chance. I feel like the Minnesota team here has to kind of get their defense back locked in. Sends it Mal off the pads again, off of the shot from Like. Mal doing a fantastic job keeping his team going here, even though it's looking a little bit rough for their defense. Prince in his own zone tries to get it out. Silk gets a tap on it. Parabola follows up off of the tap from Shrews, but Like gonna intercept. Turn it around for his team. Silk in the slot, goes for the shot and in. Mal can't quite get over. And we all saw it coming. If that defense isn't there and shots keep happening, one's going to go in. And it looks like it goes in for Silk right there.
Sometimes it is quality over quantity and quantity over quality, but that's just an example of both right there.
Yeah, fantastic shot. Can't blame Mal for not getting there. But just got to hope if you're on the Minnesota team there that you don't let it get to you and get back in and kicking. And Prince looking to do just that. Sends it down behind Zaza. Zaza gets the stick on it though. Bounced it off the boards to Like. Has Silk out in front. Shrews chasing him. Sends it up with Tarasenko. Nice job batting it. And Mal going to confidently clear that to the side. Parabola picking it up for Minnesota. Cross two Shrews there. Minnesota team trying to get their footing in this game. It's only one goal. One goal is not too big of a deal, especially this early on into the game. But for the Riptide,
I think it's going to depend on how much Waco Weatherman dig in and keep the pressure on Mal. They've definitely been soaking him in just an absurd amount of shots. So it'll remains to be seen as to whether Mal can hold up against everything and whether the Minnesota can build something from that.
According to the mod, there's one shot for the Riptide and 5 shots for the Weathermen. As we get down closer and closer towards the end of this first period, a little scrum in center ice. Parabola doing a great job to knock it off of Silk there. Silk there still to clean it up though. The Riptide don't pick it up off that clear. Falls back to Tarasenko. A few defenders chase him. Can't quite get through. Actually, he might. Gets it to Shrews. Shrews goes for a shot. Damocles getting the tape on it. What a fantastic stick there. And a quick turnaround for the Weathermen. Not giving up on that pace, I feel like. Getting a respectable low into the pad shot, but a shot nonetheless. Wraps back around to Prince and the Riptide. 1 minute in the first, seeing what they can get done. Cleared back into the Weathermen's territory this time. Zaza knocks it back around pretty easily. Prince can't quite get to it. Gets cleared down across the ice. Shrews tries to cut across and intercept, but he can't. Parabola coming in on defense. Shrews ships it off of Zaza and tries to turn it back around. As directly behind him, doesn't quite keep it, and Topher's able to knock it into the wall after that. And again, a few the defense is coming in a little bit more, but they're just not getting those offensive shots on goal. They're getting close. They're getting past one defender, maybe two, but just not getting that final shot.
Weatherman just really... Oh, here they go.
Ooh, thankfully for Mal, not a shot there. Mal does get a stick on to behind the net. Great way to keep up with the play. Back to Prince. Wall catches Parabola on the board bounce, but Shrews there to pick it up and turns it over to Zaza. That's an unfortunate misreading of the ice. Another low, wide shot to close out the period. Looks like we have 8 shots for the Weathermen and 2 shots for the Riptide. This is a unbalanced start, despite the mere 1-0 lead.
Yeah, definitely showing, I think, that the Weathermen are definitely more offensively strong here. Minnesota kind of having some turnovers and a lot of giveaways along making those plays towards the offensive zone. But, I mean, it's just one period. We've seen momentum change many, many, many times.
Oh, for sure. And that's kind of what you have to do in that 30-second intermission, especially if you're a captain, a team leader, just getting your guys back in it. And ooh, a little awkward moment there, but the goalie gets the clear. And yeah, I think for me, what we just have to see is, there's some cohesion there for the Riptide, but they need someone to step up and start getting these really aggressive and decisive plays through the defenders. Because we're not seeing a lot of that yet, and we're seeing a lot of that for the Weathermen. Shoes off the wall, sends it across, turns it over again to Like looking for Silk out front, maybe has Zaza back, goes for a shot out in front. Mal getting the pads on the way, turning to follow the play. Would have been scary if it got through, but thankfully he closes out that angle. And the Weathermen yet again pick up the puck. Shrew's trying to close it out. Tarasenko not holding the wall, but looks like Parabola will get to that regardless. Has Zaza in the way. Here's it across, and it goes to Silk again. Just maybe a lack of awareness on the minimap. These dangerous moments. Thankfully, the defender there to tap it out, but it's
a great body by Tarasenko on that puck to get it out of there.
Again, sees a pass, but the Weatherman is doing a fantastic job of kind of being in these lanes where even if there's theoretically a good pass that the Riptide can get, there's just a Weatherman in the way. Going to Prince. Prince not quite catching it, but he's going to be the first to the puck anyways. As Shrews down low, looks for him. Shrews comes in, goes for the shot. Damocles gets the stick on it, and Silk gets it off the rebound. A little bit more signs of life from the Riptide in the offensive zone, but not enough to get themselves back tied in this game, but it's still pretty early on. Less than halfway through the second period. Not quite receiving the pass. And battle on the boards as that gets cleared out into the center. Everybody can take a quick breath.
Weatherman definitely showing why they're one of the top 3 teams in the league. And despite the fact that there is a sizable gap between first and second, it still easily showcases why they are as good as they are.
Yeah, top team is a top team. Oh, off! Digging the crossbar, I believe. Almost went in.
Damocles definitely getting a lot of luck and kissing the crossbar after that one.
I know, thanking your lucky stars. A little shot wide to the right there. Mal not too worried about that. Zaza coming in, wraps it down low, but Prince does a great job catching the puck. Gets it past tries to get it to Shrews, but overshoots a little bit, and Topher's there to clean it up behind his net. A little wrap back around to Silk. Let's see how the play develops here. A little cut back, turn around, sees if he can get it past Parabola. He does. Has Tarasenko to get it past, sends it through. Zaza picks it up perfectly, tape to tape. Sends it across, but this time, the Riptide are in the way of those passes, and they're breaking up that play. Again, definitely
better
signs
defense
of
definitely
there.
changes momentum.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially after comparing it to the first period, they look doubly as good as they did back then. So they're definitely still in this game, and all it takes is one goal to get this back tied, and that's what they're searching for here. Silk sends it through to Like looking for a chance here. Sees if Mal can get there first, and Mal does, and nearly gets past the teammates, but thankfully it's just out to Topher. Has a little bit of time to get back into the crease, but going for the shot there. I thought that was about to be in, and Silk off the backboard. Wrapping out in front. Mal, fantastic job getting the pads there.
Great spinning movement by Mal to perform that save. If he doesn't get that angle, that's probably in right there.
Yeah, doing a very good proactive goaltending, keeping an eye on the play, and being not necessarily out of position, but out of the typical position in order to close out some of those dangerous angles. He'll get tapped up to Prince. Shrews tries to get it here. Silk fights it off of him. Tarasenko strips it off of maybe a shot, maybe a pass. Bounces off the boards. And Shrews gonna have a chance here. Has Prince out front. Can he get it? No. Damocles gonna clear it to the side. Still slowing down the play a little bit. About 40 seconds left in the second period of the first game. Curls in, gets it past Tarasenko, but not keeping it for very long. Tarasenko sends it down low, but didn't look at the mini map. There's only Weatherman over there, and bounces off the backboard. Looking for his options, sends it high. Pretty good chance, but not quite a receiver back there for the puck. Out in front.
Oh my
Still
goodness!
with a great tap, and Mal with a better save. Oh my goodness.
Mal just being at the right places at the right time in this game. He's definitely getting lit up but he's definitely still keeping the team in the game. So they're
Yeah,
gonna have to keep it up for the third period.
Yeah, the sign of a great goalie is, if you let one in early, instead of getting defeated about it, losing your grip. You know, for the right goalies, it'll drive you to an even better job. And looking at it, we have 8 shots from Silk and 4 from Like, which is just incredible. Zaza and Topher don't even have a shot. And we'll compare that to the 1 shot from Tarasenko and 2 shots from Shrews. Saying someone leave. Looks like we're all set. Maybe they're down a player, not sure if play's stopping. Light goes for the shot. Mal gets the save. Oof. Hopefully they get their play back. All right, looks like Louis is in for the Minnesota Riptide. Cinco out in the
Probably looking
slot.
to shake up the line a little bit, just try to get something going, because clearly they're not quite where they want to be right now in terms of offense. So they're trying to maybe bring something in.
Yeah, certainly something's missing. I've seen Louis have flashes of great offensive power, some good shots from him in the past. So I can see why they want to change things up and maybe be a little bit less predictable for the Weathermen. And a send
Louis,
up
one of the
ice.
top offensive scorers in D3, so we'll see if he can continue it up here.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit different. Shrews going for the shot there, a little bit up and left. Damocles swiping at it just in case, but doesn't have to get the save there. Zaza with an incredible rush. I don't know if that was intentional or not. Beautiful pass to Silk. Has to get it by Louis, and Louis sitting in early. It's a defensive play out there. Sends it back, see if he can keep it. Plenty of time left in the third, but it is that final period of the game. There's no overtime after this if you're not scoring, so probably looking to feed the puck to Louis a little bit. Has it in the back corner, sends it up, trying to find the teammate. Maybe Prince gets there, but again, these passes are the right idea, but they're either getting turned over or they're just missing the mark by a little bit. Let's see if the Riptide can keep themselves in this or if they're going to go out 0-1.
Definitely some crucial points to get them in here. I think the goal right now for them would just be get it to overtime, because
Yeah.
frankly, in these scenarios, any point matters. Just in these last few games, you just need every single bit you can, especially in the race to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, and for your goalie's sake, when someone's having a night as great as Mal's having right now, it's you don't want it to feel like it was for nothing. You want to get some points out of it. See if they can, Tarasenko, but no, and okay, I was about to say I don't see a defender back there, but there was Louis. And Like catches it out of the air. And it looks like the Riptide players, they're kind of throwing away that puck a little bit early, going for these long stretch passes that aren't quite connecting. And they just, like I said earlier, someone needs to step up and kind of carry it through a defender or two and get that shot off. Where even like any shot, if it's a long shot, anything, if you're not getting any chances, it's that momentum's just going to pile up against you. Silk out in front, a little bit to the side there. Zaza
Fairly wide.
Silk getting some just chance after chance, always knowing where to be. Shrews here tries to fight for it, but the defense from the Weathermen is just smothering these Minnesota players. Silk out in front. Oh my god. Incredible pass, but Mal is a brick wall right now.
Mal currently putting up a 929 save percentage.
Yeah.
And I
Still
don't
no
think we
shots
can
from
blame this game
Zaza.
on Mal whatsoever.
No shots from Zaza or Topher. 5 shots from Like and 9 from Silk counted on the board. Just for reference, there have been so many chances from Silk, who is such a dangerous scorer, that now having a night. Tarasenko, an important chance late into the third, goes for the shot. And at the very least, it's a shot, it's on target, but Damocles doing a pretty easy job of just getting that body in the way and knocking it to the side. Prince rims it back, has Louis there. Louis sends it across, but again, cut out by the Weathermen. About 1 minute left. It is do or die, and in these games, it really counts. Every single point.
Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my goodness.
Minnesota definitely not going down without a fight.
Yeah.
One wonders if Mal might come out, but with how he's playing, I think they might keep him in just to make sure that no dangerous opportunities are given by the Weathermen.
Agree. Prince capitalizes on a turnover here. A few defenders to get past if he can find Shrews here, and he does, but Shrews misses the pickup. Oh, that's gotta sting, especially when there's such little time left. But Minnesota's just trying to keep their head up and get something done with the time that they have. Mal pushing up for this, going for the clear. 25 seconds left in the third. Like taps it. This could get dangerous. Mal's still on his way back to the net. And it is, score now or forever hold your peace for Minnesota. 10, 9, 8, 7, up to Prince. Doesn't catch it again. These passes are just not doing what they need to for the Riptide, and that is going to be a brutal 0-1 game going in favor of the Weathermen. Mal definitely the star player of that game. Silk also having a fantastic evening so far, but it's got a sting if you're on Minnesota right now.
Yeah, definitely a crushing defeat. I mean, especially with being 2 points out of a playoff spot. As we said, every point counts at this point, and even bringing it to overtime would have gotten them one and therefore less pressure on. But I mean, the problem becomes is that as teams are fighting at the bottom, less and less points become available, and every single one is crucial. So with that loss, they're potentially down, and they could even be down even more next game. And as that gap keeps widening, it becomes harder and harder to maintain, and the morale is just harder to keep in the locker room. So I'm wishing them the best, and I'm truly hoping for something to come out of this.
Exactly, hoping they can keep themselves in this. And this is kind of what we were talking about with that playoff mentality applies to these games as well, where the team that has the fortitude to go through a close game like this and still make plays and still look good on the ice is the one that is more deserving of going to the playoffs, because that's what the whole environment is like, where even if your goalie's having a great night but the forwards aren't getting the shots that they need, that's if you let that get to you, maybe playoffs are going to be a similar thing. But if you're able to come back from it, that's the sign of a fantastic team. And Mal already showing that he's a fantastic goalie. And we just have to hope that the rest of the Riptide can catch up to his pace. You got to take advantage of that 0-0 start as well. Shuru's off the wall, where you're not playing from behind. Anything can happen. You got to just keep that fresh